All right, welcome to the This Week in Golf podcast, and the PGA Tour is having its first signature event of the season, and that will be at Pebble Beach Golf Course, followed up by the following week in Riviera in Los Angeles. So the PGA Tour is kind of finally having its first big event of the year. They've been having 5 events already this year, and they are now going to go to Pebble. So these tournaments are big. They're for about a $30 million purse. The winner gets $3 million overall. And the top names in the fields will be there. Rory will be there. All the top players. Let's take a look at the top 10 list right now. As we see, Scotty Scheffler, of course, Rory McIlroy, Justin Rose, who won 2 weeks ago at Torrey Pines, Tommy Fleetwood, Chris Gotterup, who has won 4 times in the last 2 years. And he's a very hot young player. Gotterup is number 5. Russell Henley is 6. J.J. Spaun, your U.S. Open winner, is 7. Robert McIntyre, great player, is 8. Number 9 is Ben Griffin. And 10 is Xander Schauffele. Matsuyama's 11. He would have been easily top 10 had he won last weekend in the Waste Management, but dude couldn't hit a fairway. I think he hit one fairway all day on Sunday, and he was still in it to the last hole. Unfortunately for him, he bogeyed the last hole and went into a playoff, and then he lost to Gotterup in the playoff. People were yelling in his backswing, but then again, aren't people yelling in everybody's backswing at the Wasted Management Open? Pretty good tournament. Perfect weather out there. Super Bowl Sunday. Football is finally over. Sadly, the Seahawks are the champs, unless, of course, you're a Seahawks fan. I am not, but they were a great team. I got to watch them up close for about 5 weeks in a row because I'm a 49er fan. So I watched them the week before they played the 49ers. I watched the replays of the tape, and I knew basically the first time they beat the Niners in the final week of the season, I said, give them the title. They're going to win it all. I knew no one could stop them. I was actually surprised the Rams did as well as they did in the NFC Championship. They shouldn't have even been that close. But great team. So anyways, the Waste Management is over. The Aon, I don't know, it's like a play-in tournament. The Aon Swing 5. Okay, so the Aon Swing 5 is the first 5 tournaments of the year for the PGA Tour. They have a point system, and based on that point system, you can qualify for the 2 signature events that are happening, Pebble Beach this week and then Riviera next week. So they kind of have like a little play-in tournament because these signature events are the top 50 guys in the world, I believe. Maybe it's a little bit more than that. But anyway, there is a play-in system, and based on that, here's the guys that have made it. Pearson Coody, Roy Hisasun. He's the Japanese guy. He's been playing very good. He played good at Torrey, and then he also played good at Phoenix last week. I actually took a flyer on him to win on Sunday, but he didn't even come close. Jake Knapp is in, Matt McCarthy, and Patrick Rogers. So those 5 players, based on a point system from the last 5 weeks, have qualified for the PGA at Pebble Beach and Riv, the signature event. So kind of neat. They have a little play-in system, I guess you could say. All right. In other news around the golf atmosphere, ecosphere, solar system, is let's talk Patrick Reed. So Patrick Reed quit LIV, and in so doing, he can play on the DP World Tour for this year. So that he's not allowed to play on the PGA Tour. But interestingly, Patrick is ranked 17th in the world. He is the highest ranked LIV player in the World Golf Ranking. So I guess he's been playing in DP World Tour events the last few years and doing quite well. He's played in the Masters, and he gets to play in the majors. So I guess from that, he's kind of maintained this top 20 status. And interestingly, Bryson, who won the U.S. Open a few years back, is number 33 in the world. So I think Reed is just getting all these points because he's playing in the DP World Tour events opposite, when LIV is not having events. And so he's ranked very high. So he will be, at the end of this year, I think in August, eligible to play in the PGA Tour events. And he's going to qualify for all the signature events if he's in the top 50. Brooks Koepka, that's why he had to play in Torrey and he had to play at the Waste Management, because he is not eligible to be in the top, in the signature events. He has to play his way in. So Reed, if he was on the PGA Tour right now, would be auto-qualified to all these events. But of course, he has to sit out a year because his circumstances are different than Brooks. So there is that. And that's the same thing that happened to Pat Perez as well. So Pat Perez has to sit out till August, and he is then going to be eligible to play in the senior events. So I guess he might be eligible to play in some tour events as well, but he is in his 50s, so he will be playing in senior events as well. The other thing with Reed is he has a legit chance to win the race for Dubai. The race for Dubai is basically the points leader. It's like the FedEx Cup, but for the DP World Tour. And Rory, interestingly, has won it like 2 years in a row. So Rory goes and plays in a few events here and there on the DP World Tour and apparently gets enough points to win the race to Dubai. So at this point, Reed's looking like he's in a good position. He's already won 2 tournaments. I think he just won last week as well. So he might have won back-to-back tournaments in the DP World Tour. So he's a player. He's coming back. Look for that in August. And with that, we'll go to LIV. LIV is playing in Australia this week. And they're actually playing right now as we speak. It's Wednesday night in the United States. I guess it's Thursday morning in Australia. So they're playing Adeline, their big event. It's one of the biggest events they have. They get a lot of fans going in there. I think they did like 300,000 fans last year going into a 4-day tournament. Actually, it was only a 3-day tournament. So this year it's a 4-day tournament. So it's their big event. They have what they call the watering hole, and they have a DJ on that hole. And then, of course, all your LIV events, after the event is over, there is a concert. Not sure who's playing at the concert, but a lot of people go just for the concert, so they're not even really going for the golf. But the Australians, they're loving it. They haven't had a pro golf tour, PGA Tour event probably since the Australian Open, which, I mean, I don't even remember how long ago that was. It's probably 20 years ago. So the fans love it. They're going out. And again, it's a huge draw for LIV. Now, let's wrap it up and go back to Pebble real quick as we go into Pebble this weekend. Okay, and then the final thing that could be a factor at Pebble Beach this weekend is the weather. So the last 2 weeks in Torrey, it was 80 degrees. In Phoenix, it was 80 degrees. And now they're on the coast up in Northern California. So it's going to be low 50s, about 13 to 15 mile an hour wind, and chances of rain as well. So that could always be a factor. A few years ago, they had a lot of rain there. In fact, over the years, they've always had a lot of rain and cold weather there. So it looks like they're going to get somewhat of a break on that this year. Several years ago, the tents blew away. They had to cancel play because the balls wouldn't stay on the green. So we'll see if that's a factor. And I think the year Justin Rose won it, he ended up having to finish on Monday. They had to finish the round on Monday. Okay, and then finally, the format for the Pebble Beach tournament this weekend is an 80-man field, and it's a pro-am, so there's 160 players, so everybody gets a celebrity. I don't even think it's celebrities anymore. It's mostly CEOs. It's kind of lame. Used to be celebrities and like entertainers and performers. Now it's just this guy's the CEO of Aon. But anyway, the tournament is over 2 courses. It'll be at Spyglass Hill and Pebble Beach. So both I guess the team will play and the player will play both courses. Spyglass one day, Pebble the next, and then there's a cut. And rounds 3 and 4 at Pebble Beach. So that's the format. And we will look forward to watching that and see you next week on This Week in Golf. Hey, it's Jeremy Callahan, and thanks for listening to This Week in Golf. Make sure and hit subscribe so you can get all the latest news and analysis from Golf VPN.